Why, hello again, Yelpers. It's Claudia here from Wild Raspberry. Today we're doing this spooky ooky vampire. There are many takes on the modern vampire, but this is just one. So first we're going to start off with a sponge, half of a sponge. At this point, you could also use a kabuki brush or a flat top foundation brush. I like to mist either the brush or the paint. Doesn't matter. Either one works. With a little travel water bottle. If you don't have that, you can dip the sponge into fresh water, but make sure that you squeeze it out really well. If there's too much water on your sponge, you do run the risk of getting a bit of water on the paint that's already on your face, reactivating it. You get weird drips, gets patchy, hot mess. So we are starting with the white. In your kit, if you purchased a kit, you have Silly Farm paints. They are lovely, lovely paints. They do a nice job. I believe here I'm using a brand called Paradise. It's a line from Mehron, Mehron. They're kind of the gold standard with stage makeup. They've been around forever. So it's an alternative if you end up buying your own paint. I like to cover. My preferred method is this kind of tapping. You can wipe, as you see me doing there. I kind of do a combo of the two things. Perhaps a kabuki brush would have been a bit faster. I'm kind of a slave to the sponge. I love it. It allows you to cover large areas. It allows for a little bit of building. I think it's a little bit more forgiving. Easy to get that nice texture. So this is different than beauty makeup. Whereas your beauty makeup or your grease paint, also known as cream makeup, those you can put it on your face and then push it around a bit. This water activated paint, you are placing there, but you really can't push it around much once it's on your face. You can build, as you'll see, there's an area on my chest here. I'll kind of build up the highlights on my collarbones. Honestly, that's because I was being lazy and I was getting sick of just covering the whole area. If I was going out for Halloween, I might spend a bit more time getting totally deathly looking. Next, I'm going to move on to a gray. Oh man, as I turn in this video, I can see the side. If I was going out, I definitely would have spent more time doing around the sides and back. But normally when you're, like, for all you ladies out there, normally when you do your contouring, you go from the base of your the base of the top of your ear down towards your mouth, the corner of your mouth. Here, I moved it up a bit because I want to have ghastly high cheekbones that look almost pointy. So you can see that I have almost a line at the top and it fades down from there and it's sitting right on my cheekbone or a little below. And similarly, I'm going to come and kind of just fade in all the areas. What you did is you wiped out all the natural highlights and shadows on your face when you painted your face white. So you kind of have to add back in those areas with the gray. Otherwise, you literally look like a clown. It's not what we want. So I'm going down the sides of my neck there. You could also, you could have fun with the shading. You could give yourself really deep set cheeks, And I'm just going to continue doing that. I'm going to do my whole eyelid, down the sides of my nose. The nose is a fun area to shade. When you get into doing characters, you really can build shapes. If you want your vampire to have a really skinny, pointy nose, you can do that with the gray. You can bring in the lines on the sides of your nose. Or if you want your vampire to have a cute little button nose, which I don't know why you would, but I would give my vampire a bump on the nose if I was going to do anything. But yeah, you can adjust the shape of the shadow there. I like to then take that line on my nose and draw it straight up over my eyebrows. One of the things that took a little bit of getting used to, again, for you ladies out there, is that this is different than makeup. You really want to kind of ignore your eyebrows and focus on the larger shadows on your face. So I do think that gives you more of a dead kind of skull look. Again, just adding normal shadows back onto my face. And this is looking a little bit, I would say a little patchy for my taste. I was doing this in the iPhone back mirror or back camera, and it was not actually very easy to see what I was doing. So if I'm at this much more in the future, I would definitely invest in a larger mirror or just drag one in from another room. So you can see here I'm going around the edge of my hairline. You can take this paint right into your hair. It's so gentle, it comes right out. So if you wanted to take that gray and just swipe it back into your hair, that's a really good option for if you don't have hairspray or something like that. It also blends that line. You know, I chose to go with a lavender here. That brand is Fab. That's actually the line made by Silly Farm. So that is a creamy makeup like the ones in your kit. You know, you're a vampire. You're undead. You've been up all night. You want to give yourself some bags. Give some purple. And you could honestly take the purple and go around the edge of some of the other shadows if you wanted. I think that would look really cool. I like a little bit of red under there for a bloodshot look. I also think it's just a little bit high fashion. You can come in with that same red and just go around your face and your mouth like you just had a meal. That's me going back in with the purple and kind of blending that red a little bit because it was a little bit brighter than I wanted it to be. And I mentioned this just a minute ago, but you can take that purple and go around and give your other shadows some dimension if you'd like. Here I am going in with a brush just to give those lines up a little dimension, but I went a little overboard. It's me trying to fix my mistake there. So you see me really relying on the sponge a lot. And here I'm going in with black. This is a powder. This is actually an eyeshadow I've probably had since 1999. Made it into my face paint kit. But here you could also just, again, use the sponge. I happen to use the black shadow, the powder, because that's what I had. Here I'm using an old fluffy brush that I don't care much about. And you can take that black powder, again, right back up into your hair. And as I'm seeing the side of my... Ooh. I'm a young vampire. I was just bit. So that's my red. Here I'm brushing right onto my lip. This is my paint that I just used for me. So if you have paint that you're using for multiple people, you could use a Q-tip if you're going around the mouth. One option for sanitizing that I've been using lately is to just soak brushes for 30 seconds or a minute in some rubbing alcohol, 70%. And that is, the internet tells me that is the way to make sure you do not have bacteria on or viruses on the brushes. Going back in with a little bit of black to give it some depth in those holes. Lining my eye with the brush. I did my eyebrows black. That's really a style choice. You don't have to do that. I think the vampire actually looks great without the eyebrows. I also think you could here give yourself a little bit of character. You could go up with a pointy eyebrow. You can see I have some red loaded on my brush, and then I dipped it in black. Just the tip. I set it. So it's a kind of a darker shade of red. And this is an optional step too. I'm just the very tip of my brush kind of dragging along to make some veins coming off of my eye. I thought maybe I'd do it on my forehead, but I didn't like it, so. I actually went back in with my white sponge after and patted over it a couple times. And the technique there for the drip is to use the tip of your brush to draw a line, and then you kind of push the butt of the brush down to give you a big fat area. I didn't mean for that to get on my teeth, but it looked kind of cool. One thing about working with really safe paints. Another way to get those drips is just to add a lot of water to your red and swish it around and literally drip it. I also really like a splatter, and you can do that with a larger brush or a toothbrush. And there we have it. Those fangs are from Spirit Halloween. Thank you for watching, Yelpers. I'll see you next time.